Good deal. All right, good afternoon. Yeah, see, check my watch. Even though it's 7 minutes fast, I got it right. All right, here we go. Another challenge. I keep waiting for a game when I put the film on and it's not a top offense we're playing. But these guys are good. I'm really impressed with the three backs. The quarterback's playing really good. I know all about the injuries at wideout, but I think all of a sudden what happened is they got a lot more speed out there with some of these young guys. So this will be a challenge. And with that, I'll open it up.
Generally speaking, just the crew that is rotating, replacing Jaylen, how do you feel about that position right now?
Yeah, well, we had, so Josh and Nazeeh both went in there. We'll find out where we are with Nazeeh as the week goes on. I thought there were some really good downs. I thought Nazeeh tackled well a couple times. And then Josh had to go in there. We had the one penalty, so we'd like to get rid of that. But I think both those guys could probably play better, and I think they'd tell you that. Yeah.
Steve, what kind of role do you see for Uche?
Yeah, Josh.
Sunday and then
Going beyond. I'm not sure what will happen this Sunday. I mean, it's quick. But Joe and Terry are doing the best they can to get him up to date on the things we're doing. We just went through a walkthrough there, and he got involved in it, so that's good. We'll see where we're at. But, hopefully we get some edge rush out of him. I know he's a good football player. Heard a lot of good things about him, all the research we did. Mike Dana played with him. I remember talking to Mike about him as a teammate and everything, came back positive. So, keep our fingers crossed and be hopeful.
have you had a guy with that kind of skill set since you've been here? Is there a comparison you can?
I'm not sure I have a real good beat on the exact skill set. I mean, I know what I see, right? So maybe after I have a little feel for it, but he's built like all those good football players up there in New England, and he was well coached. Bill having him for those number of years, so I think that's a plus. And then we'll just see what kind of talents we can use in him and mix him in with the rest of the guys.
How have you felt about your pass rush when you're not blitzing up to this point?
Yeah, I mean, listen, we know what Chris gives us, and then I thought George came on a little bit last week. I mean, Turk's been really good inside. I think he's given us some really, and again, it's you guys know how I am. It's not all about sacks. It's how we affect the quarterback, whether it's pushing a lineman into him and getting him off the spot, whether it's knocking a ball down or getting a hit and not necessarily a sack. So I think we'd all like to be a little bit better in a lot of areas. That might be one of them, but hopefully we do that. Hopefully we're going to do that.
Steve, your run defense has been good. I mean, how much do you feel like your edges have factored into that aspect?
Yeah, guys on the edge like the DNs we're talking about, Leo. And our linebackers have done a really good job at triggering real quick in the run game. It begins up front with our guys, but when your linebackers can trigger like that, you can get a double team off a D lineman quicker, and then they become more effective. And I think our secondary, Dave and Donald do a great job with those guys. I think we have a secondary that's willing to tackle in the run game and get involved, and we're preaching it all the time, and they've bought in. I was just talking to the production team there before I came in, and they asked about that same thing with how our DBs play. And I think some of that was established. I go back to, Tyrann Mathieu when he first got here, LJ, in the way LJ played physically. And I think all the guys that come in and you see that, sometimes players in this league don't listen to coaches as much as they would just observe what the guys in front of them are doing. And I think having guys like that here prior has helped us become that way on the back end.
Steve, what challenges do you think a tight end like K-Dog presents?
Yeah, just like last week. I mean, I thought last week we had a challenge with that tight end. It'll be the same this week. When you put the tape on of last week's game, when they now don't have the two receivers, I think his targets and ticks went up, so we'll be aware of that. But I think anytime you got that kind of a talented tight end, it presents some problems.
Baker or Mayfield, you mentioned him a little while ago. What have you seen from him this year? He
Yeah.
seems, wherever he ends up, he seems to play
It's like
well.
he's perfect in the system. I think they're doing great things with the guys they got. I see a guy that's getting the ball out really quick and on time. I see a guy that before the ball is snapped, I think he realizes what he has, and he knows right where he's going with the ball. Like, I don't see a lot of off schedule, I can't go there, I got to get there. And we know he's athletic enough to do that. But I think he's just been really efficient, especially on first and second down. And they're number one on third down, by the way. So he's doing something right there, too. But I just think he's been really, really efficient in the pass game on first and second down.
Nate?
Steve, Justin Reid had the quad injury during training camp. Just
Anything that you've noticed from him as the season's progressed? You guys
Justin
are using,
Reid?
Yeah, you guys are also using him quite a bit, both in the box and at free safety.
Nah, he's gotten better and better. What I always see with him is how he relates with all the other guys back there. I think he's a great leader. I mean, he does things out of this building that a lot of us don't see for the camaraderie of the back end guys in a real. The real like what I hear, because it comes back. Yeah, hey, Justin did this for those guys last night, or they had this, or whatever, and I think that's great. Not everybody does that. That's because he's unselfish and he cares about the team and the guys he plays with. And he's been on the field. He's been one of our aggressive guys. When I was talking about I think he heads that up, and he was here with LJ, and he was like that before he got here. So he just kind of carried it in here as well.
We'll go last two here.
Steve, as you went back in the film and rewatched the goal line stand with the guys, like what kind of things were you pointing out?
Yeah, 11 guys that were all jacked up to keep them out of the end zone. That was pretty. It started up front, and then the linebackers, and then every DB was involved. I mean, every white jersey. That was gutty. I was proud of those guys when they did that.
What's the process for you when you're making a trade on defense at this point in the year? When do you get involved as far as whether it's giving your opinion on it, watching film?
Yeah. Well, Brett's great in that he's so collaborative. Sometimes it's rare in these kind of businesses, and he's always bouncing things off. Like that wasn't the only name he's come in, and then it may be somebody we as coaches know about or don't know about if we need to learn a little bit more. He try to throw some tape on, and what Brett's great at is he gives us enough of a heads up that we got some time to kind of look at it and research, and then he kind of takes it from there. Him and Coach Reid, and listen, I think he's great. He's done a great job here, and hopefully this move we made here we'll all be happy about and give us a little extra. Right, we'll see.
Thanks, Coach.
Good, yeah.